Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of many, many ages. Welcome to Saudi Arabia, welcome to Jeddah, and welcome to the Delta.app One Hub Racing, and welcome to round number 8. Of course, like I said, racing around Jeddah. We have 30 seconds. Now, unfortunately, due to Papa's PlayStation's fatalities, I have had to temporarily reprieve someone from P1 who is a very good friend of mine and a bit more. So I'm going to introduce the best person in the world. It's Jess.
Good afternoon, Evil. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Jeddah Corniche circuit, which first hosted the race back in 2021, and we all know what happened there. And it is coming up to a point of the season where plenty of drivers need to have a great result here this afternoon in order for them to stay in the championship fight. And we are heading to a Jeddah Corniche circuit, Evil, where it's going to start raining, but not for very long.
Yes, rain on, well, as you can see, rain on the screen. Not raining for particularly long qualifying. It should dry out, and like I said, well, you said earlier, it's a dry motor race as well, which does mean there's going to be some very wet races in the next couple. The remaining part of the season could be a little bit damp, by all things considerate, but like I said, we got a little bit of a pause whilst we're waiting for cars to go on circuit. Like I said, it is red. So let's go through the Drivers' Championship. And well, it is Jamie who's currently doing extremely well. 104 points he has got to his name. Of course, last week had some technical issues with lag. Now, hopefully, that doesn't reappear itself, as we did see it cause a bit of a kerfuffle. We did have to have Jake host the lobby. Talking of Jake, he's currently third. Between them, Reaper, one last time out. In a very good fashionable cinch as well. Brought that points down to 85 to 104. So 2 points off from what it was last week. Jake, 68 points. Just over 10 ahead of James, who currently is in 4th. Score was 6th last time out. Flatch was in 5th, and he's currently 5th in the championship. Jack Craig, who is not here today, did not finish last time. He did not start the time before. Does not start today. Then we've got Dr. MC Jr., who is finished 10th last time out, and I don't know who that
Mark
is.
Crawford.
It's Mark Crawford. Thank you very much. 50 points. Again, a driver who's been extremely quick the last couple of races, but, and this is the crucial thing, has often ended up in a little bit of trouble, albeit not normally of his own causing. He's had incidents which aren't his fault. And that has happened. Behind him, we have Shiesty, who is back today. And then we've got the man who did 2 races and then left. So he's still 9th, so doing well. Curly is in 10th, 41 points, 34 for Madge. Oaken on 30, Nightcaller. And then we've got Wolf, Fox, Bryce, Riley, who is still recovering from his horrific injuries and has been disqualified according to this. And there's a lot of people on here. Helveka, we've got Ivan, and then all the way down at the back. In terms of the constructors, whilst we're just seeing an onboard lap slowly in the very damp conditions of the intermediates, we'll go through the constructors quickly. And it is McLaren leading 151 points. Of course, ahead of Red Bull, 139. Mercedes, 118 points, a little bit adrift. Behind them, a bit of a gaggle starting to form potentially. Alpine on 91 points. Haas starting to come through now on 78. The Williams team starting to slowly find their feet again. They're on 59 points. And then behind them, it's the Ferrari team, which did not have a good afternoon. They got themselves on the first 2 rows. Both of them ended up at the back, only scored 1 point that afternoon. Behind them, a big gap down to the Racing Bulls team. They're on 10 points. Aston Martin on 8, scored 5 last time. That could have scored with both cars, not to be, of course, unfortunate of a very strange penalty for Fox, where he got a 10-second time penalty for, we believe, overtaking off circuit, but we can't actually tell you what happened there. We know he's got a massive 10-second time penalty. And then the Sauber team on 2 points. And only, well, both of them here today, Hockney and Helveka. But we are currently on a lap time, and let's see, well, it's Michael Vasek, who's currently coming down towards the last corner. And do let me know, by the way, in the chat, if the audio balance is all correct between everyone, because the game feels very quiet on my end. So I'm going to turn it up because I can't even hear it. Where is it? Audio. Somewhere. There you are. Let's put the master volume on 7. Maybe that will louden it up. Michael, of course, first driver on circuit. He goes P1. Hello to Bonnie in the chat. The Racing Bulls has, I believe, well, he's invalidated his lap time, Jazz, and it's getting out the way. But these conditions in the wet. Now, I've experienced wet driving around Jeddah, albeit the last time I raced around Jeddah, I nearly won it actually on my comeback in one hub. It was a while ago. We don't talk about what happened afterwards because I died many times. But my one outing, it went well.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually. You did very well. So you probably have the most knowledge in terms of doing well around here. But this type of qualifying is going to be interesting, Evil, in terms of them actually surviving. There could be some drivers that don't want to try out these wet conditions and want to wait until it gets drier, so they end up actually setting a dry lap time, because there's a danger in these conditions. One small mistake, they could end up in the wall and they'll end up starting at the back of the grid. So there are plenty of drivers that are just going to take it easy for now, and then once it dries up, then they're going to probably start pushing it. And don't forget, the weather is set to approximate, so just because it dries at a certain point in this tier in the P4, it doesn't mean it's going to be the same in P3. But I've not had much experience in terms of qualifying these type of conditions, because I haven't had a chance to practice qualifying these conditions anymore because I was busy. But it is going to be interesting in terms of also, there's a few drivers hitting the wall already. That's not good news in the slightest, but there's understandably quite a few people are just waiting until it gets a bit drier, Evil.
Yeah, you can definitely see a lot of the drivers on board with Reaper right now. You can just see the rear end not feeling particularly planted, but he is pushing on. He is was green, so well, he'll ideally try to be up near the top 3, but of course it is a long session, so a lot more to come, a lot more pace to come. But of course, this circuit, very renowned for making mistakes. It's very easy to clip the walls. I would know. That is very glitchy. What is going on? There we go. Thank you, game. Reaper goes P2. Now, the big... Well, I'm right on board with Reaper because he's going to be kind of the first person I'm running on board with. And I'll tell you where the corners... Where I normally say don't hit the wall. Now, of course, compared to when I last raced, this circuit has been ever so slightly wider. The apex of the corners visible. That corner we're coming through there, which is turn number 2. Well, it's very easy to make a mistake. Now, down here... This is one of the most trickiest corners, in my opinion, on the circuit. The outside curb here, if you ride on that, you are, well, becoming Tony Hawk, not pro skater, because you will hit the wall and die. There's where Mick Schumacher crashed many years ago in 2022.
Ooh, Reaper's invalidated, Evil, so that is his lap time done.
He wasn't actually on a push lap, but I was just saying, riding aboard of him gives a nice indication of where the circuit... It has stopped raining, like I said. Now, this corner coming up here, this is where I... in my opinion, lost a victory. Right into this corner. I ran a little bit too wide and touched the outside walls. Damaged my front wing by... Well, I didn't even damage it. It was like the lightest of greens. And, well, that was the end of pretty much a potential victory back... I think it was 24 or 23. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
It was F123 you had a decent result at Jeddah. I finished 6th in that race, and I was quite chuffed with that because... I was a bit lower down, and there was a bit of carnage, I think, in front of me as well. So I think I'll need to check. Well, I'll need to check my SimGrid stats on that one. But yeah, I think I remember finishing quite well.
But Jess, do you know who my teammate was that day?
Who?
It was Papa. He was my teammate for that thing. So.
Oh, that's cute.
Came back, and well, he's not here, so it's not cute. It's sad. I want Papa back. Hopefully, his PlayStation becomes well. I guess he needs to get a new PlayStation more, actually, because it's dead. But he is not here. He's gone. He's had some issues. So hopefully we'll see him back next week. Otherwise, I'm commandeering you again against your will. Well, like I said, we got people now on the soft compound tyres. And let's see who is currently going to be the first driver to begin a lap time. Well, it's either between Jamie or it's Jamie who's going to be the first person to set a lap time on the soft compound tyres. Now remember, these times will not stay put for too long. And remember, we do have engine penalties to go through, which we'll go through at the end of qualifying. But here we go then. Onboard lap of Saudi Arabia with Jamie. Feels like I've done this before, but here we go. Then down towards turn number 1. Spot your braking zone on the right-hand side. It's around about between 100 and 150. Chuck it into the left. He's taking it a little bit cautiously, I will admit here. Extremely cautiously. It almost looks to me here, Jess, that the circuit's not actually entirely dry. But
it still looks quite slippery, Evil.
Yeah.
You could tell as well. I won't be
Very
surprised
cautious.
I won't be surprised if multiple drivers won't be pushing it just yet. It's probably not the best condition for any tyre as well. When I was doing a bit of practice for my race, I found that it was, even on my final lap, it wasn't the conditions as I would expect. And you can see that there's still a bit of grease heading in towards the end of the first sector. So I think it's better, Evil, to get a lap time on the board in the dry conditions than none at all. So if you don't get a lap time on the board at all, that means you could be starting at the back of the grid.
Yes.
And if you are taking your engine penalty or gearbox penalty around here and you not set a lap, that's going to be in a spot of bother. But you'll probably be at the back anyway, so it probably doesn't matter. So the ones who can't bin it are the ones that have got no penalties, like Jamie. And he's still using quite a bit of theirs, to be fair.
He's pushing, yeah. But you can just see, sorry, cut over. He's like having to go off throttle on the straight ever so slightly. He touches the wall on the inside. He'll get away with that one, but you can just see, look at the throttle trace, and yeah, like I said, he can't get the throttle on. It looks bone dry on my screen. Now, that might be just because PlayStation looks slightly different to, I don't know what your screen's looking like, but it's absolutely bone dry. There's no grip though, so it just looks cold.
It looks dry to me, but there's still some slippy moments. Now,
well,
Cos has disconnected, so I'm going to try and get him back in at the session because he's accepted my friend request. As Jamie goes to the line, Evil.
Yep, P11. Like I said, didn't really improve too much. Like I said, it very much shows right now the switchover conditions between inters and the dry compound tyres, they still haven't quite hit yet. Now, they will hit eventually, and we're just running aboard now with Gamer James, who, like I said, is currently setting himself around about P5 in the championship. Purple Sector 1, very sideways into the middle sector, and that's one of the corners. Very easy, and again here, just having to fight the rear end, doesn't want to meet the car, loop around into the barrier, take the shortest line to the left-hand side, and then, of course, then pull it to the right, spot the braking zone down here. Make sure you don't brake check your opponents, or hit the wall on the outside here, like some Dutchman did in 2021, and, of course, you just take it straight to the left-hand side of the circuit. You can use a little bit of the red if you want to, as well across the line. It's going to be P4 then for James, so the conditions now starting to improve. I'm wondering if Jamie here is going for a double push lap. Well, he is 1.4 seconds up. So let's see, as he just, again, rear end, stepping out. And now you just bring the car right, left, right again, completely flat. And of course, in the pure wet conditions, I will admit this is slightly terrifying. In the dry conditions like we see, it's a bit better. Again, touches the wall on the inside. And that will be, he'll be coming into the pit lane, as long as he doesn't end up spitting out into the wall. There is the man you've just re-invited of Cozzy. So good to see he is back in the session. But Jamie will be in the pit lane. So a few people here, they're going for double laps on the intermediates. In fact, I think actually they're on the softs, so they're saying on the intermediates. Maybe if I get the tyres, there we go.
Yeah, most people on the softs. Cos obviously rejoined the session, so he'll select the softs in due course. Night Clear, I think, the only other driver that still hasn't selected softs. Yeah, and don't be an idiot like I've done plenty of times on this game, where you are meant to select softs, but you select inters instead. So, and the game sometimes wants to trick you into picking the inters, like saying, choose best tyre compound, well, actually you want to go on the soft. So ignore the game and just say ignore and go to track, and that'll be fine. As we're seeing fast times coming already, Evil. Jake, who's sitting third in the championship right now, he's in P1, and there's one driver who is moved down to the P4 tier. Hockey Nye, he's making his P4 debut, even though he's been in the lead for quite some time now, quite a few seasons now. He's currently sitting in third in the championship, and he's on a push lap right now as well as he heads towards turn 6 and 7. Keep a tight line through there. He seems quite tidy through there. Burns the battery through it in towards 10, and he had to cut the corner as well. We'll see 1.675 seconds quicker. He's purple sector 1. This looks like a tidy up at the moment. Again, just a banker time for Mr. Hockey Knight through into these next couple of tight turn, which is blind apex actually, so you got to know where to turn quite quickly. And now he's going to be saving a bit more battery as we head towards this back straight evil. But a tidy lap so far from Hockey Knight.
Yes, indeed. I had just been told, by the way, Shiesty had collided with someone in the pit lane. It collided with Bryce coming out of the pit lane, so that is why Shiesty has come straight back in. He damaged the front wing, as you may have saw. Oh, very sideways for Hockney. That just shows these conditions are still not perfect. Rear end stepping up, managed to get it going. It's still purple. However, let's see, through the last two corners, get it all the way to the right. Just clip the apex on the left, had to take a double apex there a little bit. Now, just keep it to the left-hand side of the circuit, all the way up to the line. And let's see, can he get himself up on the front row of the grid? Yes, he can. 137.9 circuit, drying all the time. Kenzie on a lap time as well, we believe. In fact, I do not believe, actually. He is currently going a bit slower. Also, we've gone on board with Wolf.
He's not burning his DRS. He's just on 100% a little bit.
DRS now enabled.
Is enabled. There we go. So the race control thinks it's dry enough for slicks and to go.
What's happened here? Shiesty's off. Is he waiting out this side of the pit lane, or what has happened?
He's been disqualified.
Now, that's interesting. I'm not quite sure if that was a technical issue, because it put me in a very weird camera angle there, but he is out of qualifying. We don't quite know what has happened, but he is out, and whatever the issue,
that was weird.
Well, what it does mean so far, and like I said, it is subject to change, of course. It is a, almost called an Audi 1.2. I suppose it is an Audi 1.2. It's a Sauber 1.2 right now, in the horrible green and black thing. I don't like it. I will admit, it's not my favourite livery. It's a bogey livery. But they're currently first and second. We've got Bryce on a lap time, 3.9 seconds up as he currently comes through into the banked corner. Like I said, you can normally run the car very high. Now, in this game, it doesn't seem to replicate that, so you'll just take the low line, like you do, for example, at the Dutch Grand Prix. You do not take the higher line, which is the more, well, it's the roll line you take in this game. Doesn't really replicate that, and of course it will not in 26, of course, hopefully for 27, which will be the first probably full-on PlayStation 5, and probably be a PS6 game as well. That will be running on a different engine from my understanding, and should look a little bit more snazzier. Yellow flags in Sector 2, and I don't believe that's anything, that's people getting out of the way. So Bryce, spot the last corner, he's got one of the Alpines ahead of him. I think that might be Mark Crawford, potentially, or it might be Curly just ahead of him. So across the line, here comes Bryce. Where does he go? P1. And then straight away, I believe it was Mark Crawford.
Sorry to cut you off, as Helvetiker binned it on the exit turns 4 and 5. So he's got a bit of upfront end plate missing, which is not ideal at all for the Kick Sauber driver. And that, I think, is his lap compromise, and he's going to start a little bit further down the grid as he would have liked, unfortunately. Usually if people get disqualified for no fault of their own, usually their lap time will be reinstated, but obviously it will be up to the stewards, and if Shiesty wants to appeal that, you'll have to let the tier coordinators know, and then it will be up to the stewards to make that call on whether it was deemed disqualification worthy or whether his lap time could be reinstated. He'll probably be near the back anyway, but it will make sense we do so. But we're starting to finish qualifying and for people to do their final laps. The track doesn't feel like it's still the right temperature for normal laps, because you can see turn 1 and 2, absolute nightmare for these drivers to negotiate right now. The checker flag has dropped and Cos is not going to improve, neither is Kenzie. Barifa is 132.5.
Yeah, Nightcaller also on a lap time, purple sector 1, purple sector 2. You want to be the last person right now to set a lap time around this circuit. Of course, unfortunately, I can't really tell you, but that's not the ideal line out the last corner for the Ferrari driver. And I mentioned that one earlier on, the last corner can bite you, and it certainly bit the Ferrari. I haven't actually got the telemetry, well, I have now, but Nightcaller goes up to P4. So Ferrari on the second and third row of the grid, ever so slightly, as Mark Crawford goes up to P2, and these times are going to drop all the time. Here comes Jamie, and he needs a very good lap time right now. Needs to do a 32. It's going to be a 33, so he puts himself on the second one, the first row of the grid. However, is that going to stand? We've got a few drivers coming across the line. first. Michael Vasica goes P1 then in the Haas. And who else on the lap time? Curly on the lap time, Joe on the lap time, James on the lap time. It looks like we've got a few others on the lap time as well, riding on board with Jake, who's going to get a lovely tow then from one of the Racing Bulls, who ever so slightly moves in front of him, gives him a bit of a tow, a bit of a downshift there. Down into the last corner. Here comes Jake, currently P3 in the standings. Up to the line he goes. Can he get himself on the front row of the grid? It will be a remarkable front row. He'll cross the line, goes P2. So he goes up to the front row. That means Jamie down a little position. Here comes Fox then through the last corner. He is also up. Can he get himself probably, I think, around about P8, P7 across the line? And he does indeed go P7. So Michael Vasic on pole position then here around the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here in Jeddah. Jake in second, Reaper in third, Jamie fourth, James in fifth, Curly in sixth, Fox, Mark Crawford, Joe in ninth, King Bryce, Oaken and Nightcaller. I said are on the second row of the grid. Well, they're no longer on the second row of the grid. 11th and 12th. Hockney in 13th, Helveca in 14th. And it's almost 2 by 2 by 2 right now because behind it's the two Racing Bulls.
Yeah. That was quite a close qualifying. I was expecting, I think, it to be drier in terms of that. But thank you, Michael, for getting pole position, because that means I got a point in the Predictions Championship. You're welcome. But I'll let you go through the results, Evil.
Yep, so Michael Vasek on pole position from Jake, Reaper, Jamie, James, Curly, Fox, Crawford, Flat, Bryce, Oaken, Cooler, Hockney, Alveca, Wolf, Kusaka, Kenzie and Shiesty at the back. I am just looking to see if we have any indication of what has happened to Hockney. To Hockney.
No, it was Shiesty.
We're not seeing anything about Shiesty in the chat, so...
it might have been his fault then, Liam.
It was very odd, because he was just parked out of turn one and wasn't moving. Now, of course, we do have engine penalties to go through, but... Jess, time to put you on the spot.
I know what you're gonna. I know what you were gonna say, Evil. So it's time to go through. If I can find the sheet, our sponsors for season 28. First of all, we'll go for our title sponsor, Delta.app. The title sponsor of the league, and if you're over 18, you can make all of your investments in one app and make a smart decision like the world's top investors and track your journey to success with Delta. You can use the command !Delta in the Twitch chat, or if you're watching this back on YouTube. But why are you watching it back on YouTube? You should be watching it live. You'll be able to use it to track your investments. But also our other sponsor, which has been our sponsor for a while, Next Level Racing, sponsor the league by providing some prizes each season. And there's quite a few prizes that they offer, but it's still to be confirmed, so keep an eye on our socials for that. Sim Racing Setups. They provide a pro setup bundle for F1 25, as there's lots of carnage happening in this demolition derby right now. There's two types of dry setups, safe and esports, and also dry to meat and wet setups. And there's also prizes for weekly driver of the day winners and the driver of the season. And you can use also the code OneHubRacing to get 10% off their setups. Pure Sim Gear sponsor the league by providing sim racing socks or gloves to the driver with the most fastest laps and poles over the course of the season. And you can also use the code OHR10P to get 10% off their sim racing gloves or socks. Our partners now, Vespertine, partnered with Vespertine, who support our visual apparel and also provide some great merch prizes. And finally, SimGrid. Without SimGrid, we'll be filling in forms and spreadsheets. It'll be a nightmare. And they run our seeders through their community and platform. So thank you very much to those sponsors. And as Evil was saying last week, Evil likes to keep track on who is like the winner of this demolition derby. And it was James this week. Night Clear in second and Reaper in third. So there you go. We're keeping on track on that just for a bit of fun, of course.
So looking at the chat as well, Jake saying he could have got pole position, was held up. Like we did see it on board there. He had one of the Racing Bulls moved across the front of him. So I don't know if anything can be done of that one, but of course he will
It'll be a grid penalty for the next race
if it was, yes.
If Jake was to report that, because impeding is usually a free-place grid penalty if the other driver is found to be at fault.
Yes, indeed.
It's up to the stewards.
Yes, up to the steward's discretion. Well, I'll tell you what, Reaper got P3 in that race. Jamie in P4. Is that an omen? Is James going to win the race? Well, I know I'm going to screenshot and I'm going to compare the results later on, and we'll see how wrong we are. I'm going to do the very fun times. Indeed, also hello to my other fellow commentator, Mike, in the chat as well. And don't forget, by the way, P3 will be streamed in around about an hour and a bit time, and it's going to be a lovely stream, by the way, because we have Jake commentating. He's back. Oh, we love Jake, don't we, Jess?
Yeah, we love Jake, and he's been a while since he's commentated, and he said he'll feel rusty, but hopefully he won't, and hopefully you can give him some love in the chat as well. Plus, you get to watch me and Mike racing, and a certain Mikey, who I don't know who he is. But joking. I love you, Mikey. Yeah, I don't like Jeddah. I love commentating Jeddah. I always look forward to commentating Jeddah, but I hate racing it. It's an absolute nightmare. So I'm really glad I get to watch this race before I commentate it. But yeah, and then we got P2 later on with Ivor, Bryn, Mike, and Max, and in P1 we got myself and Jamie at 7:30. So plenty of action still to keep you entertained between now and, well, 9 o'clock this evening.
Indeed. Now,
just looking at the chat.
Remember, though, we do, of course, need to talk about it, and is the engine penalties, well, and the gearbox penalties. Now, remind me, it's how many positions is it for our engine? It's 10, is it not?
You're correct, Evil. Well done. It is 10 places for
I remember
engine.
things.
Yeah, you do remember things, Evil. It is 10 places for an engine and 5 places for a gearbox. And P4 is the odd one out because most other tiers have got the ones taking penalties. Most people are taking gearboxes, but in P4, that's the opposite. Most people in P4 who are taking penalties are taking engines. Apart from Mark Crawford, he's taking a gearbox. But there's one's taking engine, and they are as follows. Hockey Nye, Kenzie, Gamer James, Night Clear, and Ocon. So those drivers are taking penalties, and those will get added to those. And it won't affect our top 2 very much because they have not taking penalties this week. I was expecting more from P4, to be fair, because it's a lower tier, but I think I would expect maybe in round 10 in Miami, I would expect quite a lot of P4 drivers to take it. What do you think, Evil?
It's always going to be interesting to see who takes grid penalties, of course, and I think there's a few more to come in the next 2 races, potentially, I think, so it'll be interesting to see on that one, but I normally always try to take the penalty as early as you can, but of course that does come at a risk, because if you do crash, it doubles the amount of damage on that, and you might take another one later in the season. So it's a nice balancing act to find where you indeed do it. We're just waiting for a few moments' time before we get back underway for what is going to be 25 laps around the Jeddah Corniche circuit, or as I keep accidentally calling it, the Cheddar Corniche circuit, because that's what happens when you're dyslexic and you just can't pronounce words half the time. But do like some cheese. Still prefer Wednesday.
I don't like cheese, but I like Cheddar Gorge, which is at Somerset. So if you,
that's not made of cheese.
They do a lot of cheese there, to be fair.
Excellent.
But I would highly recommend if you live near Somerset or want to go near Somerset in the UK to go to Cheddar Gorge, because it's lovely, and there's lots of lovely sightseeing as well. And Cheddar, the city, is quite nice as well. So I would recommend that. And Mike's just saying in the chat, can he play Will Smith Miami when we get to round 10, please? I do not want the One Hub Racing channel to get copyright striked and banned. So the answer to that, Mike, is no.
Yeah, indeed. So we're just waiting for a few moments. Like I said, Jeddah first hosting a race in 2021 in a very controversial penultimate race of the season. Now, this season, as things currently stand, potentially, it will be the penultimate race of the season as well. If rumours are to be believed, the season finale at Abu Dhabi will be delayed by a week, and in between it, so it'll be I'm pretty certain that, it'll be 4 straight races in a row for the finale of the season, which will be interesting to see. I believe it will go to Qatar, then of course Las Vegas, Saudi Arabia, and then of course finishing off at Abu Dhabi, subject to, of course, change depending on the current circumstances of real life things. But anyway, before I start ranting about the orange thing, I shall put it to a different subject and go back to, this circuit really. 2022 It was at the beginning of the season, and I will always admit, Jess, I quite get nervous watching races around here. It's very fast, there's no room for errors, and as we've seen, start accidents have happened before.
They have. I think 2021 I was the most nervous because I was wondering to myself, why on earth are we holding a race around this circuit? And there was quite a few calamities in real life, of course, but it's got better as the years have gone on. People have improved in racecraft, and it's usually in a top tier race, and it's quite fun to cover because that it's just like you are got loads of adrenaline all the time, and a lot of people like it in top tier racing because you're like fighting the car, you're challenging yourself. It's not an easy track, and whereas if you're new to league racing like these guys, well, most of these guys, then you're probably going to be wishing that this track doesn't even exist. And yeah, I agree with Mike in the chat. It's lovely to commentate over. I hate racing it, but I love watching it, and I'm sure you're going to be in for an absolute treat today. Of course, it's going to be dry race, light cloud to overcast to clear is the weather conditions for the race. I wonder if that's going to make an addition for the tyres. We're going to have to wait and see. I already made my predictions for the top three, so I can't really change it. But Evil, I'm going to put you on the spot now. She did it to me earlier. Who's your top three?
The top three is whoever finishes first, second, and third, Jess. That is what the top three is. Now, historically, I don't give predictions because, as we well know, whenever I give a prediction, it normally ends horrifically badly for the person who is doing well. And you know what? I'm going to say it. I think Jamie's going to win this race again. So, sorry, Jamie, if you don't. But he's very quick. He's got consistency. Jake as well, very up there. You know, I can always see it going to be Jamie, Jake, and Reaper in one of the three orders. Potentially. Now, knowing my luck, all three of them are going to be off at turn number one, and they'll shout at me later. But if they are all
it'll be your fault.
It will. The championship won't change much because they are all together in the top three. So, I mean, you know, it could happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but it still might. But like I said, it's a beautiful circuit, a good race to commentate on, of course. I've had good races around here, but I don't race anymore because I don't like this game, and I'm not allowed. Anyway, this is why I watch Jess, and Jess is faster than me on this game because I am a bit rusty and very much washed.
You said there was like you either get too much grip or too little grip. Nothing.
No, I just get too little grip. I have no grip. I keep spinning, and I have had traction control on full, and I still have no grip. I don't understand it. It's just a handling model that I prefer. I like a really stable rear end. This game isn't very stable on the rear end. Despite being
it's not designed well for a pad, but we know in Bahrain, quite a lot of drivers on pad did quite well. And by the way, if certain drivers, if we commentators curse them tonight, watch the P3 commentators curse me back. So I'm going to be careful for what I say to the P3 commentators tonight.
Well, I mean, I can curse you if you want. It has worked well before.
How can you curse me when you're not commentating it?
You are going to crash. See, now you're not going to crash. See, works wonders. Normally, I have cursed. But to be fair, actually, Jess, I've talked in the chat before, saying someone's done well, and they have spontaneously crashed.
That's what I've done in the Twitch chat. I've commentated cursed.
I'm pretty certain we did it together, watching a race, and we did it, and I was doing well, and then died.
We were in the Discord chat. And then we were like, yeah, that didn't go well. I think it was we were both watching P2, I believe.
Yeah, it was the old commentating that time around. But anyway, in a few moments' time, we got to play my favourite rating game, the favourite guessing game. It should be, my mistake is, around about now. There we go, 5 red lights here around Jeddah corniche. Look, but never stare, because here in Jeddah, we are go! And it's a good start from the Mercedes of Jake, I think, coming up the inside, then down towards turn 1, 3 abreast, then Reaper coming through as well, as they all start ghosting through each other, and it's Reaper who leads this race for a brief second, but Jake's got the line then. Through turn number 1 from Reaper, Michael, then comes Jamie, has everyone got himself through turn number 1 correctly? It seems so this time around, apart from Jamie, who's lost his front wing. Jamie met his damaged the car, and is in real trouble now. He's got no front, the front right end plate has completely torn off and he's off straight wide. And he needs to be very careful here. He rejoins the circuit very carefully. He's going to have to let the entire field through. And that is a disastrous start for Jamie Met. And this is absolutely the last thing he wanted. And I mentioned it, Jess, earlier on. Jamie's going to do well. It's not gone very well indeed. Immediately at the start. But Jake is leading them from Reaper in second. This championship blown wide open. It was contact, I believe, with Michael Verseklen down in towards turn number 3. It just almost looked like Jamie potentially just ran into the side of him. It was very hard to see.
4, wasn't it? It was
turn 3, 4.
Yeah, that is a corner where I usually tend to lose my front wing. So at least me and Jamie have something in common there. But disastrous for Jamie, but advantageous if you're Reaper, who is leading the championship right now. As Reaper goes around the outside, well, you can do the overtake there because there's no DRS. But don't forget, there's no DRS chicken allows in 100 racing this season. As we can see, no DRS yet, but DRS activated as Reaper's looking very, very comfortable on the medium compound and tired. And speaking of tyres, he's leading, and Curly and Carlos are on the softs, everyone else on the mediums. Shicey, this is not looking good from the McLarens. Both McLarens have had damage of some sort, and one
Jamie
of them's going
can't
into
stop.
the pits.
Yeah, Jamie can't stop, so he has to stay out. So we believe, but we definitely know he's got front wing damage. We don't know exactly to how much front wing damage. We know the end plate's missing, but of course
it might be more than enough for him to stay out. Because but he's still not looking very comfortable. It's similar to what I suffered in Japan, where I had or it was one of the tracks this season where I got damage.
He's going to have to stop this lap because you can see, look at him turning. He's just got no turning.
Mark Crawford around the outside. He's up into 7th and trying to defend from Wolf there. Nice moves and nice brave moves being made from certain drivers. But Reaper's definitely a class of the field compared to everybody else. 1.3 seconds ahead of Jake. But meanwhile, Jake and Michael hang a ding-dong as well. And then we got Joel's out of DRS. So we pretty much got a tale of two halves at the moment between the podium sitters. We've got Reaper on his own. Jake and Michael fighting, which he's going to do right now around the outside towards turn 26. Nicely done there. I wonder if he's burned quite a bit of battery to do so. No, he's actually gained a bit of battery there. Nice battery moment from both the Haas and the Mercedes driver. Jake's going to have the DRS. We'll see if he can go for the move, Evil.
Won't do it down here. He's too far back. He's not pushing at all. So he's just playing the long game right now. Like I said, he's currently P3 in the standings. He probably, I mean, we know these drivers, they want to win the race. However, they need to think of the strategic game, the long game, and I'm going to see if Jamie's going to come diving into the pit lane. Still staying out, and the gap now is 19 seconds, so that's the gap between first and second. Very side race for Reaper, meanwhile, at the front. He's got that one very well. Did I mention that curb earlier on, Jess, around about turn 5? It nearly bit him. It was sideways. Yellow flag, pile up.
Safety car.
And that is going to be, Jamie's going to enjoy that one. That's a big off. And that, I mentioned that curb earlier, Jess. I will say it again. I think it's killed someone. Jamie might be saved here. However, he will be at the back of the grid. So,
does it matter? I think he could be able to avoid the carnage with him being near the back of the grid. Well, but yes, you know who's going to save? Curly and Cos, because they're the only two drivers that have started on the soft. They've got 2 mediums still to use. Now, from experience when I was practicing earlier, after 6 or 7 laps, the mediums felt horrible on the rears.
Yes.
But at least they have 2 mediums left, but at least they get more of an option. So if we get a late safety car, they've got extra set of mediums to the end. But if I were, I would pit regardless, because you can stretch the hard tyres for as long as you can. We don't know. Or for some people, they may think it'll be too early to stay out. It is quite a tall order, but that's our first safety car of the day, as Reaper is coming in. They all come. Oh, Jake's staying out. Okay. Jake wants track position. He thinks it's too early to come into the pit. And from speaking from experience who have raced around this circuit, it could be. And we know in Jeddah, safety cars breed safety cars. Ocon has stayed out as well. But to be honest, it's a danger if you stay out. Regardless, I would come in, get your stops out of the way, and maybe just go on softs, or even go on mediums, or even harder, stretch your hards to about lap 15, 16, and then go on mediums. because it can last with the safety car. Staying out is a danger right now unless we get another safety car.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the right call there. It's a very it's a strategic call. The tyres are going to be fine for a little bit, so he's just hoping right now he can get a little bit of an offset, because these guys all around him, they're all going to be on the hard compound tyres, if I'm not mistaken, and thinks, let's get the tyres up. It's one of these buttons. There we go. They can see the tyres. So it's medium for Jake, medium for Oaken. It's hard on for Reaper, Michael, Joe, Curly, and Kasak, with James is on the mediums. Crawford's on the hards, mediums for Hockney, Shiesty, Nightcrawler, and it's hard for the rest of the grid as well. Jamie has stopped, got a new front wing, but he finds himself down in 16th position currently. He will come through the field. However, he needs to be cautious, and he needs to have the wit about him, because, like we said, safety cars breed safety cars right here. If you're in the pack, very easy to get caught in an incident around you, and then, of course, you are in big trouble indeed. But like we said, Jake leads this race. Safety car will be in at the end of the next lap, if my brain is telling me.
That is correct, because not everyone has caught up to the safety car yet, so
yes.
I think it'll be there for one more lap, yeah.
Well, looking through the field, I can actually have a little look at some of the cars going. I must say, do like Fox's helmet. It's the old Lewis Hamilton helmet, of course, for when his dog passed away. I think that's Roscoe's.
Yeah, it was Roscoe. Oh yeah, it does look nice, doesn't it? I love it.
I do like it when it's got the famous yellow. It's got the Union Jack on the top of it. It very reminds me of Hamilton's helmet from, I think it was Silverstone one year, back many years ago when he was in McLaren. I think it was 2008. He had the Union Jack on the top of his helmet.
What's happened to Cos? Curly overtook him during safety car, it looks like. Or did Cos overtake Curly under safety car?
Well, if they did, they would have been given... I want a Dragon. I agree. I would like to be on your helmet. You can print me out, I guess, and put me on a helmet.
Well, Mike used to be in a team that is called Red Dragon.
Yeah, I know. I used to be in it as well for a brief moment. Yeah, anyway. Less about that we talk. Anyway, Shiesty down in 11th in the second McLaren. It's good to see, by the way, all the liveries are mostly the same this week. So I can actually tell you who is who. Apart from the Red Bulls, which have got the White Bull and the Red Bull. And the Racing Bulls is also white. And, well, it always gets confusing when... I mean, like I said, I've said it a few times. Every car on the left, you can see there's a lot of blue. Now, but I do like blue. I mean, my favourite colour is purple. There isn't any purple cars.
There's mine, actually. My favourite colour's purple.
I mean, I suppose the nearest purple car would be the Alpine. It's got pink and blue, which doesn't make purple, technically. But I think the last proper purple car, that would have been the Simtac back in 1994. And before that, I think Brabham was a little bit purple as well. So, yeah, indeed on that one, the safety car will be in, I believe, at the end of this lap. So we're just looking here. As you can see, the Aston Martin AMR safety car. Not currently in use anymore, unfortunately, I will admit. I did like the Aston Martin safety car, but the Mercedes, I suppose, it is a bit more iconic. Though I do say, once upon a time, they did use a Countach. I was, Mike, I was in it in 22 for a little bit.
Safety car's in this lap, Evil.
Coming back in then. So, Jake through the last corner. And he'll lead the way. Now, when do you want to go? You wait pretty much until the time. There's damage. Someone's lost their front wing in the background, Jess. I've just seen someone's front wing has been shot up in the air. And I'm not quite sure who it is exactly. If you can go through the field and see. I think it's the McLaren of Shiesty who's lost his front wing. But here we go then. Back under racing. Reaper through turn number 1 and 2. Then it's all going to be about being cautious. You're all on harder and cold tyres right now, as you currently fly through this field. But Jake's got warmer tyres, but behind him is a very, very fast Reaper who's going to be wanting to come through very, very quickly. Yellow flags flying in Sector 2 as we're just looking on board here with Reaper. He has an opportunity down to this corner, but like I said, it's a very brave opportunity to do. Let's just go through the field.
He's not going to go from... Or maybe he thought about it. You can't afford to go for too many moves, but the advantage is he's got the harder tyre, but it takes a while to warm up around here, but it should be warm enough at this point, and yeah, evil's always right, Mike. What you on about? Anyway, Reaper is gonna gain on Jake, as you can tell Reaper's running with quite low wings as well.
Yeah, be brave around here.
More comfortable.
Around the outside, then he's done it. He's backed out of it, I think. Jay, yep, he has. So that's going to compromise him though, because now he's done that tight line. Now look here at Michael Vazak, who's going to touch the rear end of Jake. His rub wheels a little bit on the straight, but I think they're fine as they come then. So that's not worked out for Jake whatsoever. So this strategy then, pitting under the safety, well, not pitting under the safety car, rather he's buggered him. I suppose he has a little bit more strategy, but remember, they all have to stop 2 times this afternoon. So Jake has to stop at least 1 or 2. But to be fair, I think everyone has to stop 2 more times total in this race. So I don't think it's really affected too much. It's Mark Crawford looking to the inside. By the way, I mentioned who had damage. It was Hockney. And I believe Jamie's had an issue here. Yeah, Jamie's dropped right down the field here. And he's...
He was way down the field anyway.
He was way down the field, but he is a little bit further back than... it looked like on the map. So he has dropped back a little bit of a gap. He's battling with Jamie, and ahead of him, we've got a little bit of trouble here. And it is, well, he's actually doing pretty well despite having no front wing. And it is, it's a yellow flag, it's just glitching out a little bit there. But it's Hockney's damaged his front wing. That was the car who I saw damage the front wing at the beginning of the race. I mean, whoa, that's going to be contact. No, it's not, somehow. And that was the Racing Bull of Kasarka there, trying to go up the inside of the back corner. Didn't quite work out there. He's going to try around the outside. And if I'm the Williams, I'm probably backing out of this one because you don't want to become a kerfuffle.
Oh,
Wide he goes. And,
rejoin.
yeah, that's always going to happen there. And they all just about keep each other on the island. I will admit, actually, I think a lot of this is caused because the Williams has got front wing damage. That Williams has lost his front wing, and he's got to be very careful here. It's James has damaged his front wing. He's got a lot of cars. There's more contact there. And I think the McLaren's gone round in the middle of the pack. One of the other cars involved in. They all got to be very careful rejoining the circuit. And they all have managed to rejoin the circuit very carefully. And that was Shiesty. Yeah, sorry.
Joel, by the way, has moved past Ocon up into 6th. Curly as well has had a good race. He's up into 5th, so he'll be loving that. And Ocon has decided, yeah, enough's enough. He's going to come in. And we can see Curly right round the outside in towards turn number 1. Nicely done. He could be on for his best result in one hub. He would have got a podium, by the way, at Silverstone, but he got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which I was quite gutted, actually. But hopefully he won't get a time penalty here at the moment. He is closing up on Jake quite rapidly. James has had to pit and go off strategy. Yes, he's done 2 stops now, but Sauce won't get to the end. He has no other option, though. He's going to hope that we get another safety car for him to be brought back into this race.
Oh yeah, I mean, we almost had a safety car a few moments ago. That was very, very tight, and that was, it was audacious. It was very audacious. It was very much a day late and a dollar short. It was never going to work up the inside there, and you could almost see that coming. But somehow, they're all still in the race, just about. A lot of them have got damage. What this does mean, by the way, Jamie has gained a few positions from this. So I suppose you were slightly right, Jess. Being at the back does keep you out of the trouble. He was very much nearly in the trouble, but just avoid it by the briefest of margins. Meanwhile, here comes Joe Flats looking back at Curly. Go back out that, knows too much. You do not want to go up the inside because there we go. That will happen. And touches the wall, and I think Mark Crawford will now try and hold the inside. And that's not what you want to be doing. They're fine. That was nearly, that could have been a monumental shunt there as Mark almost looked like he was, sorry, it was not Mark, it's Curly. My apologies, Mark, who's just sitting behind them together. It's a bit hectic. I'm trying to figure out who's doing what, but it was almost contact. They all survive further down the field. We're just looking to see. There's the gaggle of cars. And it's 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Yeah,
Curly thought about it.
Curly's thinking about it. Here's Jamie Lowe thinking about a move up the inside of Helvetica then. Down towards turn 1. He's got to be very cautious right now where he positions his car, because that might happen, and he got hit on the rear, and he's kept it going, but he's being a little bit too cautious right now, is Jamie. And there's being cautious, and there's being too cautious, and he nearly got spun around by the kick Sauber, who I think may have damaged the front wing in that one. I think he has then. So Hockney, who had damage anyway, he's now going to go a little bit wide. But that's all about just being cautious. Just knowing when to do it. And Fox has got a time penalty. Unfortunately, another penalty for Fox is my penalty count for Fox this season isn't looking very good. But I do remind me, he's doing very well so far. He is in the points. It's just about on a technicality that he is currently 12th and hasn't got well, he's got a penalty, but it's still ahead, so he's technically in the points. He is right behind the Kick Sauber, who we did say he's got damage, and I'm going to think he will be pitting at some point. As we go through the corners then, let's see, we're going to look up the inside. You ever think about it, nudge him wide. That might be a little bit naughty from Bryce. He'll hold back. He's got his teammate behind him as well. This does mean the gap up front is opening up all the time. And we're going to see him move into the last corner from the Aston Martin. Dives to the inside. Doesn't get the car nice and stopped on board. Up the inside, there's a McLaren. Whee! And there was a McLaren. There was a Aston Martin on Fox you're riding on board with. There was a McLaren. There was almost a Sauber in there as well. A very cheeky manoeuvre. Here we go. Then he's going to have a second bite of the cherry. Back up the inside. Here we go. Late braking manoeuvre down in towards turn 1. Gets the job done. Oh, contact. That's netcode, I think. Now that was contact. But he went through it. Aston Martins come together on the outside. And both the Aston Martins have collided. And both of them now, I think, have got damage. Because that's got a time penalty. And that was not what they wanted to do. Meanwhile, Jamie up into 9th position now in this race. And he's on the back of Helveka. And he's opened that gap a little bit. But Shiesty dived up the inside. There was contact with the Aston Martin. He kind of netcoded his way through the Aston Martin. And then the two Aston Martins came together ever so slightly. Apologies, they don't have damage, it seems. But they did all very much collide. Meanwhile, Jake's dropped down a position.
Dropping down. Yeah. He's got to pit now. I'm surprised he hasn't pitted yet. I'm surprised he hasn't pitted yet, because usually the tyres just sort of go off his shelf life, 7 or 8 laps. So I was surprised he's stayed out when he did. If I was him, I would pit now. He's going to try and go for a move here, but he's not going to. But yeah, if I was him, I would come in now, for a set of hards or for a set of mediums. Probably a set of mediums, because there's probably going to be another safety car. So through goes Jake into the pit lane, and not the strategy he would have wanted after starting on the front row.
So the mediums.
Yeah, set of mediums, but with a safety car, he could be back in this. Meanwhile, Michael leads from Reaper in second, and from Joe in third. Mark Crawford in 4th place. They seem to be holding together, but there's quite a bit of chaos, it seems, as well. There's certain people just sending it and just not reminding themselves of the consequences, as we're seeing, by the way. Hockey Night going on softs, which great strategy. I tried starting on softs for a practice race. Did not go well. It lasted 4 laps, and the ones on mediums caught up to me quite quickly. So yeah, do not go on softs at any point during the race, unless you want to die. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were about to say it lasted 4 corners, or was our last shot, softs then. 4 laps is a bit more like it. They normally have 4 or 5 laps. Jamie a little bit wide again. He's not lucky. I will admit, Jamie doesn't look the most comfortable around here. I know it's historically not been a good... Yeah, it's not been a good circuit for him in the past. I've remembered before he has had a few accidents around here, and you can just see, just looking at his inputs, he's kind of jittering. Well, he's not lagging, he's just kind of jittering the steering wheel. So I think the setup might not be very perfect. It's
not a pad circuit, Evil, as well. It's more designed for a wheel.
Well, I think the whole game is, but... What I will say...
Bahrain?
Yeah, Bahrain's good. That's about it. I'm okay at Bahrain. That's probably the only circuit on the pad I actually am quicker than you on and things. Meanwhile, Michael Versack leads this race. 5.5 seconds from Reaper in second. Joel Flatt in third as well. Mark Crawford 4th. Curly 5th. Kasak in 5th. We are just coming to halfway stage in this race as in comes Shiesty. So hard compound tyres. Might be a new front wing as well from the damage he had earlier on. So quite a few drivers with front wing damages, which means it's the Aston Martins. Now 9th and 10th again. They're back in the points. Quickly followed by Oaken, by the way. Yellow flags, and that's off the road. And that's Helveka. And that's going to be on the curb. And again, no, it's before the curb, actually. That's not a nice place you want to be. You'll pull to the right-hand side, potentially, and let these guys through. And so he's gone off very early then. And, well, what this means is here's Jake then, right behind the Ferrari. And we'll probably get ahead of the Ferrari in due course. And I won't do it here, Jake. I mean, very brave to go around the outside. I'll do it down the straight. Wait for the DRS sunshine. Yes, he will do wait for the sunshine. Well, we'll wait for the DRS. He will be here, sunshine. Here we go then, round the outside. And let's see, DRS, pull to the right-hand side. And there you go, job done. So, patience is key. Race still on for Jake. And he can still get a podium, potentially, because the cars around him all have to stop. Unless they've got another set of hard compound tyres, which they may do. I mean, medium, I think. So it's going to be interesting.
I'm surprised people did do medium to start with because of the amount of possibility for safety car.
Yeah, it's interesting on the strategy. In comes Jamie. Nope, not in comes Jamie. I thought for a second he was coming in. Here's the two Aston Martins. He thought about it,
didn't he? But he thought, to be honest, it would have been too early. If I was coming on mediums, the earliest I would come in is lap 16. If you want to have hards, or even lap 17, and then you would do like 9-8 laps on mediums. As the two Aston Martins, by the way, are giving it everything. As unsurprisingly, Evil, one of the Kick Saubers that has had damage has gone into the pits, and unless they've got another set of hards on, they're not going to make it to the end of this race. They may have to pit for fastest than that.
I see. I said a soft on one of them. Said a medium to help back up.
No, that's not going to make the end, my friend.
I mean, it could make the end. It will be a square...
The wheels will be not happy.
Yeah, the tyres won't exist, but he can get there. He might not be on tyres when he gets there, but, you know, there's still an opportunity. But here's Jake, meanwhile. This is kind of really own battle going on at the circuit. You can see the fastest laps as well, the intervals. There we go. One of the words come out. And that's it. It'll be the second DRS, so I think Jake's going to get a move on down here for the Aston Martins. They're both going to have DRS on each other. But Jake, right now, he's a wily old fox. He's, well, apart from the strategy, which is the wiliest old thing in the world, I reckon the inters are quicker than those softs. You know what? It'd not be far off, to be fair. They might last a bit long. They might last about the same as well. So, here we go then. Jake, it'll be down towards turn one. The two Aston Martins, though, they are kind of working together here a little bit. I almost say they almost collided into the corner. That might not help. Well, it very did help.
A bit of a moment that allowed Jake to pass by his car quite comfortably, to be fair. And Jake's going to have DRS on the other Aston Martin. Threw it in towards turn number one, and he's climbing his way through the field. Nicely done on those fresh set of mediums. Now he's got to gain that advantage in the next few laps also before they start to die. And I wonder if he's going to try and go for a soft stint at the end. Maybe do medium, soft potentially. Well, we will see.
That'll be difficult.
It would be difficult. And Mikey's suggesting a rainbow challenge in the chat. I would try it if like I had a massive gap, but no. I would only do it for content rather than league racing. But we got more pitters. Fox is in. James is in. James will get through to the end quite easy, though. From experience, Haas will get to the end from this point. So yeah, he's committed to the end. Fox is going to be a bit of a tough, tall order for him to get to the end of this Grand Prix, but with him getting damaged, that's not going to be ideal also. But yeah, with not that long to go till the end of this Grand Prix, expect pit stops for the hard runners in to be about the next few laps or so. Yeah,
they'll be pitting in the next 1 or 2 laps. Here goes Ocon, thinking about a move to the inside. He gives them the space, does the Aston Martin. I mean, again, you just kind of want to be a little bit more hesitant about there, and you don't. It's not really an opportunity to overtake here, because you've got these 2 DRS zones up here, which you can pass. And what Ocon will do now, he'll just sit behind him, unless he wants to come in the pit lane, does Bright, and wait a second. Meanwhile, I will say, there's Jamie, by the way. You can see where he is. He's currently 7th. Jake right behind him now. So, despite that strategy, of course, the front wing damage says in comes Curly for a set of medium compound tyres to go the last 10 and a bit laps of this race. The Aston Martin now behind the Ferrari of Ocon. So, the Ferrari now up into the point scoring positions. But like I said, there's Jamie. There is Jake. Both of them having...
with a J.
Yeah, the double J's. Both of them with differing strategies. One with damage, one with... I don't want to say it was a mistake. It probably was a mistake to pit that, not to pit. It very much cost him potentially a podium position. Unless, of course, we get a safety car right about now, which might bring him back into the race. But right now, unless someone goes off on their own, they're all rather a little bit separate just so far. As we just look through the field, there is Hockney, who's on those soft compound tyres and having a bit of a struggle, as well as Shiesty. Behind them, there's Kenzie, who has got damage on the front wing, and he's got the Aston Martin of Fox looking to the outside. Hello, that was a bit of contact on the straight there. Trying to go on the outside for Kenzie was kind of dawdling in the middle. He has got damage, of course, so lets him through on the exit. And away he goes. In comes the top two. Michael Vasek, in comes Reaper. Gap 5 seconds as it was. Staying out Joe Flat. Now, the question is here, is Joe going to sacrifice himself for the greater good? Or is he going to just, well, he's got too much of a gap. I tell you what, though, it's going to be very close with the Racing Bulls coming through turn number 1. In fact, it's not very close, as that's the gap then. So, Michael out of turn number 1. Behind him, eventually,
Reaper's in as well. Yeah.
And just ahead of Jamie. That is the gap length, so he's got a pit stop advantage as Reaper. Now, what Reaper is begging right now is the safety car doesn't come out right now, because if it does, that will very much, I suppose, kind of neuter his positions. But he's still in the race, as you can see, very struggling. Jamie's got no rear end grip, 12 lap hold on the hard compound tyres, and they are past their best. We'll say that much so far.
I wouldn't have stayed long on those hard tyres, to be fair. I probably would have stayed like 10 or 11 laps, so he's probably saved past his sell-bys 8. But, well, we can look at the positions gained, Evil, in terms of who's gained the most so far, in terms of the ones who made 2 stops. Mark, I'm just trying to see, actually.
Mark
not many people. Yeah, Mark Crawford's made the most, but don't forget he's still yet to stop. Joel and Mark still yet to stop. Cos, Jamie, Jake, King Bryce, and Kenzie still got 1 stop to make. Everyone else has done at least 2 stops. And speaking of moves, Michael, on a fresh set of the hards, gets past Mark. And again, he has a pit stop advantage over anybody else. As Joel comes into the pit lane, so does Mark. So unless anything catastrophic happens, we are going to see a new race winner. And it's long overdue, because he missed out on the race win in Hungary, just about over Jamie. If he had one more lap, he would have got it, as Joel and Jamie's come in, speaking of him. But this is redemption from him. If he could just keep it clean, then the race win is his. His race, he's been looking very commanding from the start. And again, that translates to why my P4 prediction in the top 3 never go well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, what? Nightcaller battling with Kenzie. That's a late move up the inside. That's not going to work. Well, luckily, there's a massive amount of runoff area down there. That was, like, 60 metres late. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Well, I can tell you what happened there. We tried to outbrake him, and it didn't work. Sailed off down the runoff area, and will fight to live another day. So, that was that one. That was, very much late. Like I said, we're expecting now, so on the another set of hard compound tyres for Jamie. So I'm wondering here, if you are Jake, are you going to consider pitting now? If you've got another set of mediums or a set of hards, just jump on them now, go to the end of the race. You know you're going to be covering off Jamie, or at least battling with Jamie. You've got these fresher tyres for one more lap, but these are wearing out. So if I'm him, I'm probably coming in the pit lane right now. It's Michael Vasek leading this race from Kasarklen, who is yet to stop. Massive gap, 7.4 seconds between first and what will now be second, as in comes the Racing Bulls to release the Red Bull, who sets the fast lap of the race on, guess what, those hard compound tyres. In comes Kasark yellow flags. Who's that for?
That is one of the Kick Salbers.
That's Helveca, I think.
Yeah, Helveca, yeah. I always get it wrong, as Cos comes into the pits. He's going to not come out ahead of the Alpines that are fighting tooth and nail at the moment towards turn number 1. And I've been speaking to Curly, and he always likes to play team orders. If he knows that Mark is ahead of him in the championship, when it comes to it, if Mark goes for the move, he doesn't fight for it. Well, it seems to me around this track, they seem to be fighting for it, these two. But they're doing a great job. It shows that this is what you could do when you're fighting. So fair play to these two. They're not giving, they're not letting each other pass. They're going for moves, but not going for ambitious moves. They're only going for moves that they see fit. Right now, as we're approaching towards the end of this race, Kenzie comes in as well to make his final stop. So the only person who is yet to do his 2 stops is Jake in third.
Yeah, Jake's going to have to come in then. If he's got another set of mediums, about now is the right time to do it.
No, he's already used his mediums, Evil.
Well, he's got another set of hards, Lan, hasn't he? He's got to go on the hards. So I don't know.
It's either hards or softs.
Well, the softs won't make it, and his tyres are, what,
they're 7 laps old.
Yeah.
If he could stretch it like he did in the
He
first
can do another
stint.
2 laps. He can go on a set of
Yeah,
softs.
he could go. He could go. I think that's what he's going to try and do. It's Cos, by the way, past Curly, through in towards turn 26, but Curly's not going to give an inch. We got Curly going to go around the outside. Cos defend to the inside. Another set of hards, it looks like, for Jake. If he comes in now, I think he's done. Yeah, I see white striped tyres coming onto the car. So that is. Unfortunately, strategy has gone to pot, but it's Jamie now sets the fastest lap of this race. Good recovery from him, as we can see. Cos almost got Curly down on the exit, and Curly's fighting every moment there.
Curly had to give space there, Jess, because he kind of went for a move around the outside, a little above circuit, and was like, well, I'm putting my nose here now, and good luck, everybody. And Curly, wise to it, turned out of the corner. And you can definitely see, despite that damage, Jamie, by the way, set the fast lap of this race. And now you can see the gap there. And this is why I said Jake needed to come in a bit earlier, because he was with Jamie. Now he's not with Jamie. So that is 7th position at minimum for Jamie, unless we get more trouble at the end of this race. Reaper it just needs to bring it home. He'll be 2nd. I think we've got everyone who's stopped in this race.
Everyone that has stopped, yes, at least twice. So all good, no disqualifications. You can see Cod is saving some ERS here, and he's not going to go for it yet. If I was him, I would burn it here. Yeah, or maybe go towards turn number 1. Cod is doing the right thing here as well. I'm liking the various strategies with this P4 tier. It doesn't give me an idea of what I want to do in P3 tier later on. But Cos, if I were you, just wait on the start-finish straight. Wait till you get the DRS. Yes, you got the DRS. Now we can start going for the move. And Evil, if you could get tyre rage, that would be amazing. As Cos goes past Curly, and on fresher tyres, that has helped him massively. And Cos will be on for his best result, but it's a shame he's got that penalty. It is 3 seconds, but that would only drop him down 1 place, because Jamie has got 6-7 seconds behind. So yeah, Cos is only going to drop down 1 place because of that. But we'll see if he can close in on Mart in order to get rid of that deficit. Well, not that long to go for the end of this Grand Prix. I might be able to make most of this race, Evil, by the looks of it, by the way it's going.
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, you said you had to go around about, what, half past, so...
No, quarter past, 20 past, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, you've got over 10 minutes, and it's, what, probably about... Oh, Jamie's just hit the wall! On the straight! No, Jamie... He hasn't damaged the car, I don't think.
I think he just grazed it.
It was a big graze, I will admit that one. Yellow flags, what's that for? Aston Martin. And that is off, that's a front wing off. Are we going to get a safety car at the end of this race? I think we're going to get away with it. So what he's done then, he's got on the curb, and the car is, well, it spat the car straight around, and I mentioned it earlier, these curbs around here and those couple of corners will spit you off. Front wing is off. We are not going to get a safety car, but we're going to get a very, very close kick Sauber up the rear end, but it gets out of the way. So, got a feel for Fox there. He was in the points and very much looked like he was going to score points. As per usual, it's come a cropper right at the end of this race. Gap between 7th, 8th and 9th, by the way. That is closing ever so slightly. Kassak gets the fastest lap of this race. And you got to get a little bit of wondering here. Is Jay got an opportunity at getting P7 in this race? Well, he's in DRS so far. If he can clear Ocon and his fast lap of the race by a comfortable margin, by the way, it seems. I think it's about 3/10 of a second. If he can get past Ocon this lap and keep the paces going, he has an opportunity at demoting Jamie. And if Jamie finishes 8th...
front wing damage for the Ferrari of Nightclear, who's hit the back of Fox, who's got no front wing anyway. So Fox comes in, he's going to serve the fastest lap point. He's going to try and get the fastest lap point.
Oh, they almost collide on the straight, and this is going to come together. Oh, brakes around the outside. That's late maneuver. That's not going to work. That's a little bit aggressive there from Nightcaller. And that was never going to work. And, well, he's come on much more of a cropper there. He almost squeezed him off the circuit in a straight line. It was contact. Dived up the inside. A bit of frustration, I think, there for the Ferrari driver. No point this afternoon, it looks like. As Kenzie coming into the pit lane, I believe, as he got trouble. He's going for a set of soft compound tyres. But anyway, what I was saying a moment ago is if Jamie... Jamie's got trouble. Jamie's in trouble here, Jess. I think Jamie's got damage somewhere, because look at the pace suddenly dropped. He's now in DRS, unless this is trying to help Ocon battle here. I don't know if it is. I think Jamie's in trouble, Jess, here.
Yeah, Jamie, you could tell Jamie is struggling.
He's going to the inside. He's letting him through. So unless it's going to go for a double bit of DRS, I think he might have tried to get the double dose of DRS here. DRS will open. So there's something's going on here with Jamie. He's got no ERS to fight with. He's going to go to the inside. Late braking maneuver. Needs to get the car stopped. Does get the car stopped. But he has got no ERS. And all of a sudden, what looked like P7, he's got a yellow flag. And there is someone's off.
Is that safety car or VSC? No, it's VSC, I think. Oh, that's Keddy. Oh, that's a...
Jamie's, oh my jeez, oh what on earth did I just see in the rear view mirror? If you saw that on stream, let me know. That was interesting.
I saw that as well on my end, Evil. Yeah, luckily it's only a VSC, not a safety car.
That's Kenzie. So how has he gone? He's hit the inside wall. Flying barrier. But the question is, what flying barrier is there? Because there's no barriers that can fly here. I don't know what. Wow, magic. Well, what that does mean, though, Jess, is Jamie gets a brief second of reprise. Now, what he needs to do is not get himself a penalty. He's got all of his ERS back.
He can't get a drive-through. If any driver gets a drive-through, then that's it.
Yeah, it's it now if you get a drive-through, so he's got to be careful as Kenzie has left the session. But what has allowed is his ERS now to completely recharge all the way up. So he's got full ERS on the car. So that's actually worked. Ironically, quite well for Jamie here. We're waiting for the VSC to come back in. Well, for a second was looking like it could be trouble. And it's looking like it very much could be an opportunity. Clip the wall coming into the pits, said Kenzie. So that is why Kenzie is out at turn number 5. You clip the wall in the pit lane entry. Shiesty for... Who was that then? It was... Shiesty got a drive-through.
And Fox.
Fox got a drive-through. We are back under racing then here in Saudi Arabia with 2 and a bit laps to go then as we are beginning lap 23. Here is Jake then. Is he going to think about a move down towards turn 1? That VSC, by the way, might have just saved Jamie's bacon here because he was very much in a fight and he had no ERS. Now he's got all of the ERS. Shiesty's got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And I think that might be a retirement. Hopefully it's not.
No, he should. I don't think he should. I don't think he should retire because that's going to hurt his car wear. So yeah, he's done the right thing. He's gonna have time to come in and try and get a fastest lap point, which is probably only consolation prize for this race at the moment.
Meanwhile, I haven't spoke about it too much up front. There is Michael Vasek, 11.1 seconds. Now the gap between him and Reaper. Behind that, almost 9 seconds between Reaper and Joe Flats. And then Mark Crawford finally looks like he could have a good race. Currently P4.
That makes a change, doesn't it?
It has make a change. He hasn't had very much luck in the last couple of motor races. Behind him, Kasak, of course, has got that front wing damage. Curly behind that. Then we've got this squabble going on here. All within DRS of each other, of Jamie, Oaken and Jake. And this really could go any which way right now. One of these drivers could finish 7th, 8th or 9th. None of them could finish the race. We don't know. Hopefully they all finish the race. They all got to be very careful. Here comes Oaken then. First opportunity he's got down towards turn 1. Behind him, I'm wondering here if I'm Oaken. I'm looking behind at Jake. Going, is Jake going to think about a move in a minute? No, he's not. Looking back. Oh, well. Do you know what? I refuse to speak about anything anymore because look, Crawford's got a penalty. I mentioned it, and Crawford's got a penalty. I don't think that's going to drop him too many positions. Jake gets through up the inside then. Okay, that's what happened. So he damaged the front wing.
Pit for front wing.
And yeah,
I can read it. He had to pit for front wing damage, clipped the wall at turn 5. That's what broke his suspension and put him out the race.
Yes. Okay. So that's what happened there then. So that's what I theorised was happened. Oh, hello, Papa. He's in the chat. 11 to 13 points carved down.
You only just realised that.
Which only just popped up on my screen.
He's been in the chat since the race started.
Oh, well, hi, Papa. Sorry, I miss you. Please come back next week. Jamie's having a mistake here. And this could be an opportunity then for Jake to get a position. We are on the last lap of the race. Well, for the leaders. Here is Jamie. Here is Jake. Side by side, Jamie's going to back out of this one. He has to. He has to back out of it. But he's gone too deep. He's made a mistake again. And now Jake has got a real opportunity to try and stretch. If he's got any ERS, he'll use it now. And that's
And he's
8th
got a better
position.
tyre. And he's got the better tyre compared to some drivers, but I don't think he's going to close the gap that he needs to get 6th or 7th place will do justice at the moment. But as Papa was saying, as he's 11 to 13 points now will be the gap between Reaper and Jamie if the results stay as it is, which means the championship is going to be wide open between those two. And don't forget, Michael and Joel have gained points on Jamie too, so they can close the gap too. But I have to
Jamie's
say,
hit the wall. Jamie has hit the wall again. That's the second time he's done it. Now he's broken the front wing. Now he's damaged the car. And he's done exactly what Kenzie mentioned earlier on. And now he's going to drop down another position. There's frustration here for Jamie. And a 3-second time penalty. Frustration is bubbled up. Meanwhile, coming through the last couple of corners in what has been a dramatic Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Michael Verseklen comes through to take his first victory here in One Hub. To the line then, Michael Versek wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Reaper will come across the line in second and will take a huge amount of points out of Jamie. The title fight has been blown completely wide open. Here comes Reaper then, second position, and he will be very happy right now. Joel Flatt making it a Red Bull second and a Red Bull third. Mark Crawford will cross the line in fourth, and then behind it it's going to be Kasak in fifth. Curly in sixth, waiting for Jake coming through the last corner, and then leads two behind him of Jamie, and who's going to cross the line in ninth position with what's going to be.
What happened to Curly there? Because Curly, I swear, was like 3-4 seconds clear of Jake, and now it's 1.5 seconds.
I think he backed off at the end there. So Okan 8th, Jamie 9th. That will bring the championship down, I believe, to around about 10 points, nearly.
That's massive.
It's blown wide open. Brighter 10th does finally score points for Aston Martin again. So Aston Martin, only 6 points. The gap now between first and second of the championship, Jess. That is going to be blown wide open. The constructors, by the way, Red Bull will now lead it. Shiesty crossed the line with a 10-second time penalty. James will cross the line in 13th. Alveka 14th.
No.
Yeah. So there we go then. So the championship completely blown right open. 19 was 19 Reaper, 17 Jamie. Only I can't read the rest of it, so you can bring the rest up if you can.
No, I can't because I need to leave.
Okay, well, goodbye, Jess. Do you want to give drive of the day?
Yeah, I'm staying because I've got to give drive of the day. My sim racing. Do you want to go through the results first? I only just need to change monitor, so yeah, you go through the results first.
I'll go through the results then. So Michael Verseklen from Reaper, Joel, Mark, Kasak, Curly, Jake, Okan, Jamie, King, Hockney, James, Shiesty, Helveka, Nightcaller, Fox, Kenzie, Wolf. That is your order, so Kamalam doesn't murder me. My drive of the day. What is it? Remind me what's the thing for drive of the day game, Jess?
Sim Racing Setups driver of the day.
Yes, Sim Racing Setups driver of the day. I'm going to say Michael Verseklen. First victory of the season for you in P4. Domination, 14 seconds. How did you enjoy it out there?
That was my drive. That's what my drive of the day was going to be, Evil.
I've stolen it.
You stole it. How could you? My driver of the day. This is. I was going to give it to Mark, but he's got a penalty. Where did Mark finish in the end?
Mark Crawford finished fourth.
Finished fourth. Who finished third again? I did.
Joel.
Joel. Oh, this is tough. I'm torn between Joel and Michael here, but I'm gonna give it to Joel, my Sim Racing Setups driver of the day, and say congratulations on the podium. Red Bull leading the Constructors' Championship now. Do you think you'll still have hope in getting a trophy this season?
Indeed. That's the driver of the day. Jess, do you want to quickly go through the sponsorship very fast before you have to dart?
I'll just say the names of the sponsor, if that's all right. So a big thank you to our title sponsor, Delta.app, as well as our other sponsors, Next Level Racing, Pure Sim Gear, as well as our partners Vespertine and SimGrid, and our charity Mental Health Foundation. There we go. Quick and snappy. There we go.
Well, indeed. Well, we'll round off the stream because, of course, we've got to get Jake to be able to load the Twitch up, so I'll end it now. Of course, join us in just over 7 days' time where we go to China then for the Shanghai Grand Prix. But from my dear best friend Jess and me, take care. And, of course, hopefully we'll see Papa back next week. If not, we'll figure out what happens. But from me, take care. Good night.